Alright guys, welcome or welcome back to our channel. So if you're new to our channel, I encourage you to subscribe to our channel and join our community. We make a lot of videos on web development, Node.js, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, even MySQL. So if you are interested in such topics and you're interested in learning Node.js and all the concepts of Node.js evenly, I encourage you to join our channel. So in this video, we are going to see cookies and sessions, how we are going to use cookies in our code, in our Node.js applications to store the state data. So this is going to be a two-part video. So in the first part, we are going to create a cookie and a session. And the second part, we are going to use this cookie and a session to send the data from one page to another. So we are going to greet the user on the second page once he logins. So whatever username it is, we are going to greet the user based on that username. So stay tuned for that video. So let's get into our code and learn how we use cookies and sessions. So over here, I have a folder, and as we do it always, we will open command prompt from here and we will create a new folder using the mkdir command and start our coding sessions. So we write mkdir and the folder name, which is cookies, enter. So I have to move to this directory. So I do cd change directory cookies, and over here I'll have to create a file, a node.js file. So I'm going to do notepad. So we are going to do app.js. App.js is going to be our file name, and if you use notepad command, it helps us to create a file. The same thing in Mac is touch. So it'll ask us if we want to create a file, and we do yes. So here we have our app.js ready. So if we have to open this folder, the existing folder in VS Code, we type code dot. So code means that it's VS Code, it's a short form for VS Code, and dot means it's the current directory that we want to open. So when I hit enter, we can see that VS Code is opened over here. So once we have VS Code opened, I will create a new text file. So I will call this notes.txt. So first let us understand what session is. So we will type session. So we have session. So session is used to create or store the state information of the server. So it is used to store the momentary information of the server. So it is used to store momentary information of the server. So this information can include login information, their IP address, and any other information such as account detail, etc. So session is used to store the information or the momentary information. The user creates a session as soon as he logins into the device. So a user can log in using his username password, and we will see that in our video. So as we write our code. And what is cookies? So cookies is a small text file. What is cookies? It is a text file. The maximum capacity of this text file is max capacity is 4 kilobytes. So the maximum a cookie can range is 4 kilobytes. So this is stored on the system. So this is stored. So this is stored on the hard disk and retrieved when required. Okay. So we have cookies which is stored on the hard disk. Its maximum capacity is 4 kilobytes and it is retrieved whenever we require it. So once we have an understanding of what cookies and sessions is, let's jump into our code and create a session. So here I am in my app.js. So over here, first and foremost thing is to tell the browser that we are going to use JavaScript version 6. So I do js hint es version 6. So this will prevent any errors related to the version. So now I have to install certain modules. So I will open my console or terminal by hitting Ctrl and tilde. So once I have my terminal open, I will install certain modules. So I will do npmi. So I will install Express sessions, nodemon, as well as body parser because we want to pass the data from our body to our server. as well as cookie passer. All right. So this will take some time. All right. So we have all the packages installed. So let me import them in my code. So first and foremost thing is to import express. So we do const express is equal to require express. Then we will include body passer. So I will do const body passer. So I'm going to use camel case. Require body passer. And then we will install sessions. So const sessions is equal to require session. So we have to install yes express sessions, and then we will do const cookie passer. Require cookie passer. Yes. So let's close all of this with semicolon. So we have required all the modules that we require. So now we have to use sessions. So now while using sessions, sessions and cookies have some maximum hour or a duration for which it's set. After that duration, the session or the cookie is deleted. For instance, in many applications, you might have noticed that if you leave the page idle for an hour, you are automatically logged out. So this is done using the maximum hour, so max age function which is available in the cookie. So we will set that up. So we will do const app is equal to express. So we are going to tell that our app is going to be express. So we want our cookies duration to be 1 hour. So I'm going to do const 1 hour is equal to. So we are going to give it an expression which is 1000 milliseconds multiplied by 60 seconds multiplied by 60 minutes. So this gives us an hour. So if you want it to be a day, you can do it multiplied by 24, which will give you a day count. So I will do app.use. So I'm going to use session, and in that I'm going to pass a function. So in that function, I'm going to pass something called secret. So this secret is a hasher. So based on this, our session code is hashed. So we have process dot env dot secret. So we will create this in some time. And then I have save uninitialized. Means once the data is saved, we have to uninitialize it. So we do save uninitialized to set to true. So once we are done with this, I have to give this a cookie R. Okay, we have an error over here. So it has to be colon. So I have to give this cookie a duration. So we call the cookie variable. And for this cookie, we pass some data, which is max age. Now we have created then R count over here. So we are going to pass this as a max age. So our max age is 1 hour. So let's close this. And after this, we will do resave. So once the session time is over, do we have to resave it? No. So we will do resave false. So here we change it to colon. Yes. So we do resave false. So once we are done over here, so we have created an app session which saves the session cookies for 1 hour, and after an hour the session is deleted. So now I'm going to set the body parser. So I will do app.use. So we use body parser to get data from a HTML body. So I will use body parser dot JSON because we want the data in JSON format, and it's a function. So we use brackets, parentheses, close it. We have to set app.bodyParser to have the URL encoded. So we have to set app.bodyparser.use to body parser URL encoded, and then we will set it extended through. Extended is true. Let's close this with a semicolon. And we will set app.use to set cookie parser. So we will do app.use cookie parser, and it's a function, and we close it. Yes. So we are done with the app, setting up the app. So let me establish a connection. So I will do const port. So this is the port on which we are going to run. So we are going to give this process dot env dot port. So now we have used process.env over here as well as over here. So for this, it means that we have an environment variable in our code, and in that code or in that environment variable or in that environment file, we are going to save session informations or the port data. So whatever is stored in the environment variable is meant to be kept a secret. It may include all the API keys, all our passwords and functions. So first, let me open my terminal, and in my terminal, I'm going to install .env. So npm I .env. So it stands for dot environment. Yes, so we have that installed, and I'm going to initialize my dot environment before any other code. So I'm going to do const. So I'm going to do require dot env, and I'm going to set it to config the function, and we'll close it. Save. So here I'll create a new file. So I'll save it dot env, and over here I'm going to save the port as well as the session secret. So here the session secret was named as secret. So I'm going to create something called secret, secret. It is important to note that everything that you write in the env file has to be capital, and then your session secret. And this is going to be a string. So I'm going to write subscribe. You can write anything over here. And over here, I have my port, which is set to 3000. Yes. So once I'm done with this, let me save this, and we will close our environment file. So let us check if our app is up and running. So I will do app.listen, and I wanted to listen on the port. So I will do port. So it's listening on this port, and we're going to pass an anonymous function. So to brush you up about an anonymous function, a function in a programming language is declared with a name, but an anonymous function doesn't have a name. It is declared wherever we want it, and once the function is seen, it is called right there itself. So we have function, which takes no inner parameter, and within the function, we are going to console.log some data. So we are going to say server is up and running on port dollar port. Yes. So we have to change this quotation marks to text. Yes. And the next line we are going to console log a URL. So we have to console.log. So this is made so that we can easily just click on it and go to the URL rather than typing it in a browser. So we have to console log. So we do http:// slash localhost. Yes. Let me close this with a semicolon. Yes. So let me save this and run our nodemon in our terminal. So we do nodemon app.js, enter. So here we can see that our server is up and running on port 3000 and we have a URL over here. So I've missed local, it should be local local. So once I hold control, I can click on this and it will directly take me to my browser. So here it says cannot get because we haven't defined any get route. So let me open my code, and in this code we will set a get route. So we will do app.get when it hits our home route. So we have / as a home route. We are going to pass in another anonymous function. So this function has two inner parameters, which is request and response. RES, short form for response. And over here, I'm gonna send a file. So I will do res.send file. So first, let me check if the page is available. So I will do res.send. And when we do res.send, we can send a message. So we will send hello. Let me save this and refresh my browser. So here we can see hello is displayed. So here it is ready to send file. So we will create an index file, which is going to be our login form. So we'll create a new file and I will call it index.html. And in this HTML file, we are going to create our form. So I'm going to give this a name of login. And in the body, I have copied the content of my form. So I'm going to paste it. I'm going to change this action to my home route. And let me save this. So it's going to be a post method. It has some parameters that I've copied. So it has a username, a password, and a login. And these are the passwords which are set for forget password. So we don't need this. Let me delete this. Okay. So you'll find a number of forms online. You can just copy paste one. We don't even need this remember me. So let me just remove this. So let's save it. So now we are going to create another public folder. So this public folder is going to serve CSS to our HTML pages. So we have public, and in our app.js we are going to initialize our public. So we will do it over here. So I will do app.use express static, and we are going to set it to the public folder. Yes. So I've saved this. So in my public folder, I'm going to create a file and I'm going to call it style.css. And in this style.css, I'm going to paste all our styles. So let me save it. Git close the styles. Let me save my code. And over here in our index.html, I'm going to link it. So after our title, I'm going to do link. It's a CSS file and it's called style.css. Yes. So let me save it. So in our app.js, now we are going to render this file. So I will do app.send file. And I'm going to send index.html. So I'm going to send it from the current directory. So we do __ directory name. So this will give me the current directory's URL, and we are going to append it or concat it with our file name. So it is index.html. And let me close it. Let me save this and let me check my browser. Okay, so here I have to give it a / so that it directs to the root. So now let me check it out. Yes. So we have the username as well as a password field over here. So now what we are going to do is we are going to take this username and this password and save it in our database or create a session for it. So let me go to our HTML code, close this, don't save it. So let me go to my code, and in our HTML code, we are going to add a parameter. So this is going to be a name parameter, which is uname and password PSW. So I'm going to fetch these in my backend. So I will create another route. So I'll do app.post. So we are going to give it a route, which is going to be the home route again. And I'm going to pass a function. This function has two parameters, request and response. And over here, I'm going to save the email and the password in a variable. So I'm going to do let email is equal to request dot body dot. So what's the name over here? It's username. So uname and password PSW. So I'm going to request dot body dot. Let's change this to username. Request dot body dot uname and let password equals to request dot body dot PSW. Yes. So let's close this. So now I have my two variables. So these variables are going to save the username and the password that I enter on my front end. So it's a request over here. Req, yes. Now what I'm going to do is I want to save this username and password on my session. So what I'm going to do is request dot session dot logged in is equal to true. So what this line means, so actually this line has to be done after some authentication is done for the username and password. And once the user and password is verified and it is available in the database, after that we are going to set the request.session.login to true. But for this application, I'm just going to do it directly. So after I'm done with this, I'm going to save the email. So here we have our username. So after I'm done with this, I'm going to save my username. So I'm going to do request.session.username is equal to the username. Same for password. So you do request.session.password is equal to password. So let me close this and save this. So once we log in with this route, a username and password is sent. So after this is done, we have to redirect it. So I will do res.redirect, or else we will do res.send. We will send logged in, loggedin. Yes. So let me save this, close it, and after this we will do res.end. Instance response is ended. After this, then we will close this. We will close our function semicolon. And now let me go to my browser and refresh it. So here I will enter the username as my name. So it's Kiran Roy, and the password as 1234. I'm going to log in. So it says logged in. So to check if our session is created, I will hit Ctrl Shift I. And over here, I will go for application. And in my application, I will search for cookies. So I have a cookie file created for this URL. This is my localhost 3000. And over here, we can see that this session is being created with a max hour, which is set for 1 hour from now. The size is 93 and the priority is set to medium. So let me create a route to delete this automatically and see if it gets deleted or what. So let me go back to my code. So we will create another route. So we'll do app.get. We will call this logout, and this logout will have will have a function. So it has a function. This function has two parameters, request and response. And what we are going to do is in the request.session, we are going to destroy it. So we are going to do request.session SESSIO session dot destroy. So what this is going to do is it's going to destroy our session and delete it. And then we are going to redirect it to response dot send, and we are going to send a message stating session destroyed. So it's CSSION destroyed. So let me save this, go back, let's close this, let's set this local URL. Okay, so here I'm gonna pass again Kiran Roy, and I'm gonna pass a password. So it's QWERTY login. So it shows logged in. So let's set the sessions. So let's hit Control Shift I, and here we have our session. So let me close this. And if we hit the route log out, it shows that our session is destroyed. So this is a simple way how we maintain sessions. So here is the code to it. This code will be put in the comment section below too, so that you all can follow around. So as we have passed our session over here, we can take this session to another page. So this is going to be a two-part video. So this is the first part of the video where we just created a session. In the second part, we are going to pass data from one page to another. So stay tuned for that too. Like, share and subscribe, and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss our next video.